I'm Connor from Freedom Peak Performance, and today we're going to be going over a pre-round warm-up routine. So I think we've all showed up to the first tee box a little stiff, a little bit sore, so this would be helpful, especially on those days, but really every round. We should be preparing our bodies for the round, as golf is a fairly strenuous sport. Although it can get mocked for not being a sport, let's say, it does require a lot of mobility, strength, and power to perform well out on the course. So we're going to be taking you through some movements in this video that can help get you prepared for your round. One thing I like to do before I do any mobility work is pick a test movement. Since we're going to be playing golf, that is going to be our test movement. So grab onto one of your clubs, choose an iron, and just take a few nice easy swings and see what your swing feels like at the beginning of the routine. From there, we're going to go through all the movements, and then we're going to retest our swing and just see if it feels a bit more fluid, easy, and that is the goal really of this routine. So without further ado, we're going to get started with a Spider-Man lunge plus T-spine rotation. So what that looks like is hands are going to be placed onto the ground in a plank position. We're going to step one leg up right by the hand, and then we're going to explore first the hip. So you can rock your front knee forward a little bit, as well as with your back leg, you can think about trying to straighten that out. Once we've explored the hip, now we're ready to rotate. So we're going to open up towards that front knee side, open up, rotate, follow the hand, and then you're going to reach underneath and open back up. We'll get 5 rotations on this side. Trying to time the exhale as you reach up. Inhale as you reach under. Once you've done 5, hands can both place back down on the ground, and then we're going to step up with our other leg and repeat the same thing. You can reach under and then open up, rotate. As we do that, kind of changing our front leg position to see if we can get deeper into that hip stretch as well. Good. After those 5 rotations, we're going to go back to the plank position. We're going to send the hips back into a down dog. And then from here, we can do what's called walking it out. So you're just going to alternate dropping one heel, then the other. We're going to be walking on the course today, so you want to make sure the calves are loose, ready to go. As Phil said, you need nice calves to hit bombs. And then from there, we're going to walk ourselves back up onto our feet. We're going to go into what's called a hinge. So we're going to be bending at the hips. Hips send back like we're trying to close a car door with our butt. Arms are going to come down to the center. And then from this position, we're going to be focusing on rotation of our upper back. So I like to use one hand to pry into my leg. And then I'm going to reach up, rotate just like we were doing. As I come back down, my other arm's going to place inside the thigh, create some force pushing into it, open up and rotate. And then I'm going to alternate side to side. Again, trying to time that exhale as you reach up. You're going to be finishing the exhale. That's going to help you get the most range of motion there. One more on each side. And then we'll come up standing. Next, we're going to be focused on the neck. So although kind of golf is going to be that shoulder sport, the head does need to be fairly stable. So we want to make our body aware of our head position. So first, we're going to go behind our backs, clasp our hands and reach down. That's going to get our shoulders out of the way, so you can focus on the neck. And then it's going to be chin tuck. Scrape your chin along the collarbone. Look over your shoulder, chin up towards the ceiling, or the sky in this case, looking across the sky over the other shoulder, chin down to collarbone. We're going to go one more rotation that way. Slow and controlled. If you do feel any pain or pinching throughout any of these movements, please hold back. Don't push into any pinching pain. Now we're going to switch directions. So looking over the other shoulder first, up towards the sky, across the sky, over the other shoulder, and back down. Good. Then we're going to move on to the shoulders. So we need lots of range here to get into our backswing, but as well as to come through the ball. So I like to go one hand on the rim, palm is gonna start up. We're gonna come up and across the body. Once we hit our first block, we're gonna keep reaching towards the sky, and then we're gonna rotate. So the rotation comes from the shoulder, and as we rotate, we're gonna have that palm turn away as we reach into the back seat. Then from there, we keep rotating so that our palm is facing the outside. There. Then we're gonna go thumb to the back, rotate, swing back up and around. You can notice the rest of my body doesn't move too much, so what I don't want to see is as you reach up overhead, we have this big arch and sway in the low back. You want to stay stacked. Head, ribs, pelvis. As we rotate, reach around for that second rep. Thumb goes back, rotate, come around. Same thing on the other side. We're going to go 2 slow repetitions. Same thing as the neck though. If you do feel any pain or pinching, please don't push into those. It's not worth it to hurt yourself before the round, or really at all, as this mobility routine can really help mitigate some injury, as we're going to be more aware of how our body feels that day before we step out onto the course, which can be really helpful in maybe holding back a little bit that day, or your body's feeling good. Time to hit bombs. Okay, there is our second, excuse me, second rep. The next one I recommend grabbing back onto your club. We're just going to use it for balance. We're going to be doing a standing hip car. So same idea that we just did with the shoulder, but now for our hips. So we're going to first rotate from the hip so that our foot sweeps to the inside, and then we're going to bring our knee up as high as we can. From there, we're going to go out to the side, open the gate, and then try to keep your knee up as high as you can as you rotate the hip, and then start to kick back and around. Now we go the other direction, so it's going to start with a kick back. We're going to open up the hip, and then we're going to rotate, come back to the front. Here's one from the side. So the golf club there is just for balance. We're going to come up, swing the door open, rotate, kick back, and then kick back, open, rotate, come around. After the 2 reps on the one side, we can switch over. Notice that my body, or the rest of my body, stays particularly still as I go through this, as we're just trying to isolate movement at the hip. So I don't kind of kick back, swing open, and move my body like so. Just my hip is moving, the rest of my body is trying to stay as still as possible. Good, last rep here, we're gonna kick back, open, rotate. There we are. So you don't have to lift your leg up this high for this one, it's more so you guys can see it. But we're gonna be going through the ankles now. As you are in your golf swing with the weight transfer, you're gonna be rolling on the ankle as well as twisting to get through the ball. So, lifting the leg up just a little bit, we're gonna go gas pedal. Think of a slow ankle circle, sweeping to the inside, start to pull toes towards the shin, rotate out, and again, we're gonna go 2 circles one direction, and then 2 circles the other. So starting from the outside, roll it in, gas pedal, come out, up, across, and down. And then same thing on the other side. Start with that gas pedal, sweep to the inside, start to pull toes to the shin. Try to take time and control with these. So notice we're only doing 2 repetitions because you want maximum control of your body before stepping into a golf swing. We'll switch directions. So I'm not just quickly trying to spin my ankle as fast as I can. That's rookie stuff. We're gonna get full body control. So when we apply it to our golf swing, it feels good. Excellent. Golf club can go back down. Next one is going to be a toe touch to squat stretch. So the first part of this movement is going to be reaching down, trying to grab onto the toes. Enjoy that nice hamstring stretch to start. You'll want your feet just outside of hip width apart, because now we're going to keep pulling on our toes as we drop our butt into a squat. From there, we'll stand back up, reach back down, grab onto the toes, hang out in that hamstring stretch for a second. Keep pulling on the toes as we bring ourselves down into a squat. Stand back tall. We got 3 more to make a total of 5. As you're coming down, think pulling up on your toes, but your toes are pressing back down into your hands. Of course, if you're wearing spikes, please don't stick your fingers underneath the spikes. If you're barefoot, awesome. Good. Last thing we're gonna do to get our body prepared is just a series of kind of hops into jumps. So we're just going to start to activate the muscles in our bodies to start getting explosive, as a golf swing is an explosive movement. So we start with a little bit of hops, getting off the ground as soon as we can, and then we slowly grow in height until we're putting as much force into the ground as you can so that we're ready to hit the links. So now that we've finished up our routine, we're gonna take our club again and go through a few more swings and compare how they feel start to finish. Should feel a bit more fluid, might feel a bit more powerful. Now you're ready to hit the first tee and not use a breakfast ball.